I do not brag or boast. I'm coming to you guys live from coast to coast. It's your boy, I'm Krista Don One. Welcome to another spanking new episode of Based on a True Story podcast. As always, rate, comment, subscribe, share it with a friend, family, as well as a follower. Let's get this YouTube channel lit in the YouTube algorithm, okay? Kind of wanted to talk about this like earlier this morning. Now, if you haven't catched it, be sure to catch uh my latest episode on Based on a True Story podcast. I uploaded it like 3 or 4 hours ago. Go check that out at your leisure. But I kind of wanted to talk about this as well. And T.I., and we've been knowing this for quite some time now, T.I. is trying his hand at comedy. He thinks he can do stand-up comedy. He's into the realm of being a stand-up comedian. T.I., Atlanta's king of rap. T.I. has also been in movies. I think he has been in a couple of shows, television shows, but nothing like this. And this is a lifelong passion for him. This isn't something that he just recently picked up. T.I. has been on this tip for quite some time now, trying his hand in stand-up. I think he was doing it around the time COVID was going on. He was, after COVID, he was, going to a couple of shows, wanting to try his hand at stand-up. I think there was one time he was at a show and there was a lady and she said something about T.I. and T.I. happened to be in the audience. And, there was like a miscommunication between the young lady and T.I. And, I feel like that's really the only thing that, as far as T.I. trying to transition from being an artist, a music artist, into stand-up comedy, I think that's really the only time he, had a misstep. But nevertheless, T.I., who put some promos out there on social media as well as YouTube. I've seen the trailer. T.I. has come out with a comedy special. It's Better Than Therapy, I believe. You can watch it on his website. It's not on no Hulu or Netflix or even YouTube. The only way you can watch this is going to his website and ordering it from there. And I have seen a lot of clips. Of his stand-up performance. Particularly on social media, as well as the little trailer that T.I. premiered on YouTube and on social media, even on, I think he has it on his Instagram account. I'm not sure. And there was a lot of clips that didn't really paint him in the right picture. And it's not the fact that him telling jokes, like some of the jokes, it just wasn't there. I mean, I'm not saying they wasn't funny. It's just, to me, I think he missed a lot of punchlines and a lot of jokes from the clips now. And for all we know, people are probably showing the clips where, he was bad on stage. Now, I did see one clip where he told a joke. The joke was okay. It wasn't a room shaker. It was, a little haha, a little giggle here, a little giggle there. But then there was somebody in the audience just falling over. Like T.I. told, I didn't know that it was Dave Chappelle on stage, Kevin Hart. I could, it was like one of them type of moments. The guy just falling all on the floor with laughter off the joke T.I. told. And it was a decent joke, but it was funny, but it wasn't that funny. Okay. So a lot of people on social media is not happy with T.I.'s latest adventure as far as doing stand-up. There's been several comedians that have been very vocal about T.I. Ari Spears, who's a stand-up comedian himself, felt like T.I. should approach it very, have some humility about it and be very humble about, being in stand-up. A lot of people feel like, and a lot of the comedians feel like this is a publicity stunt. And in some cases, some people feel like this is T.I. disrespecting the art of stand-up. I want to say this before we get into this, all right? I'm a pretty funny guy, okay? I'm a pretty funny guy. I get my coworkers a laugh in or two. My friends, my family members. I'm a pretty funny guy. If you know me and the things I talk about, you would laugh as well. But I never thought or imagined that I can do stand-up. I feel like it's a certain group of individuals that can do stand-up. I mean, if you can do stand-up, you can do anything. Now, maybe like if there's a script in front of me and I'm doing like a video, or if I'm doing a little show or a movie or something like that, I can probably do that, even though, because I'm acting the lines. It's not something that's coming off the dome. It's not like something that's coming off the head. And I can probably pause. I can, probably make that a laughable moment. But to do stand-up is extremely hard. A lot of people go on that stage, and a lot of people, the stage don't lie. The audience don't lie. You can put special effects. You can pretty it up. You can cut the parts that were not funny. But when you do it live, there's no editing involved. It's just you out there. And you either going to, blow up, or you're going to bomb. It's one or the other. Okay? Particularly with stand-up. You don't have no one to depend on. It's not like somebody can tag you it, and then you go off the stage while the other person tries to, get the audience attention as far as getting them to laugh and things of that nature. I mean, you're a one-man show. You're literally a one-man show. So to me, I feel like not everyone can do stand-up. Even the comedians today, I feel like there's like maybe 5, possibly. I'm not even gonna sit up there and lie to you and say 10%. Probably 5% or less can succeed in stand-up. Just a comedian, okay, that can just go on stage and do a stand-up show. Either prepare what you're gonna say, or just something that's coming straight off the dome. There's very few people that can can do that. A very, very minute crowd. It's like being an NFL quarterback or being a point guard in the NBA. Everybody can't play point. Everybody can't be QB. So it takes a certain type of individual to do stand-up. Not everyone can do stand-up. And I'm not saying T.I. cannot do stand-up, but from the clips I've seen and a few times I even laugh, I think T.I. got a lot of room to grow before he even think about doing stand-up. Again, it's his life, it's his story. He's not in a position of desperation. This is something that he loved. This is something that he passionately believed in. He even said that he turned down 6-figure deals as far as him going on stage to do his music. He's turning those deals down to do this stand-up stuff. And, the stand-up stuff is not giving him 6-figure deals. There's not a huge demand for T.I. as far as stand-up. There's a huge demand for T.I. the artists that that still got some music out there, but it's not a huge audience for T.I. to be a comedian. There's no audience for that. Now, I will say this: from the clips I've seen, um, I'm gonna have to be 1,000% real. I didn't even laugh at a lot of stuff. I feel like when you do stand up, you got to have material that's relatable. You dig what I'm saying? T.I., the few clips I saw, it was just T.I. talking about T.I. I mean, you can still have those moments, but the majority of your performance, you got to talk about other things that's relatable to other people. Not all of us know what it like know knows what it likes to be T.I. or be a rapper or have a famous son or have a famous wife. Not all of us, have those options. So you kind of want to do stand up that's relatable, in my humble estimation. And from the things I've seen from the clips, a lot of that stuff wasn't relatable to me. I'm not saying all of it wasn't funny. Some of it was funny, but a lot of it just wasn't relatable. I couldn't identify it. I couldn't identify with it. And if you can't identify with it, how in the world are you gonna be able to follow it? Okay. Now, a lot of people on social media are taking this point to say T.I. is not funny. I do believe T.I. is funny. I do feel like T.I. has a sense of humor. I feel like T.I. can pull this off if he was doing a comedy movie or a show based around comedy. I think T.I. can do something like that. You dig what I'm saying? But for T.I. to do stand up, I mean, that's on a different page. That's on a different level. I don't think T.I. can do stand up. You understand what I'm saying? You dig what I'm saying? Even if now, who knows in the future if he continues to do this, will he get better? Of course, he can definitely get better, but can he get worse? Yeah, he can get worse as well. Like, I've been to a lot of stand-up shows. I've seen stand-up shows on television, on streaming services. And the one thing about stand-up shows, there's always a moment in any stand-up show you can still remember that joke, or you can still remember that moment. T.I., unfortunately, there was few and far between with his performance. I'm gonna be honest with you. And again, T.I. can have a sense of humor. T.I. can be funny. But I don't think T.I., as of right now, I don't think T.I. is ready for doing stand-up on his own. I do feel this. T.I. should take a page from Steve Harvey. Remember when Steve Harvey and the Kings of Comedy, Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer, Bernie Mac, oh my God, who else was on that thing? Okay. Kings of Comedy, D.L. Hughley, Bernie Mac, Cedric the Entertainer, and Steve Harvey. I remember that show. Did I say Bernie Mac? Yeah, I think I did. I remember that show, and all of them were funny. They were all individually funny. But what made that movie? What made that movie a moment? What made Kings of Comedy a big was Steve Harvey hosting that whole entire show. Steve Harvey did his bits in between introducing the comedians. I feel like T.I. should take a page from Steve Harvey, where he has a comedy show and he has different comedians on this show, and it's an all-in-one thing. And Steve Harvey can come through and introduce the comedians and say a couple of jokes here and there, say a couple of things here and there. It keeps the crowd going. The crowd ain't just stuck on focusing on you all the time, and particularly your material. I feel like he should do that. When he gets better at it, of course, if he gets better at it, who knows? He might do my whole thing of it is Steve Harvey. T.I. can be a Steve Harvey on his own comedy show and introduce different comedians. So I think that would fit T.I. better than him doing his own show. And he'll get better and better at it to the point where, the next time he has a performance, he'll be able to do it. Okay. But guys, that's pretty much all I got for this episode, for this podcast. As always, rate, comment, subscribe. Share it with a friend, family, as well as a follower. Let's get this channel lit in the YouTube algorithm. I'll see you guys when I see you. Deuces.